All right. Well, before you were mom, you lived the dream that so many families chase. You were a national champion. You were an Olympian. You set records. Like you've done all the things we think about when we dream about our kids being athletes. But you've also said there were days that all of that felt hollow. So what do you wish more parents understood about what that level of success actually costs?
Yeah. Yeah, Jonathan, I love the word you use, which is costs. I think the first thing that I would say about success is we are so quick to celebrate the medal moment. Like we look on TV and we're like, wow, this is amazing. I want to stand up there with my hand on my heart, American flag raising and the gold medal. Like that is awesome. And I'll tell you, parents, that is awesome. But the first thing is that it's fleeting. You have this moment and it's like, wow, I've achieved everything. And then what? And I think that's one of the things first and foremost that we miss is we think so often that if we achieve something that we'll feel good enough, we'll feel loved, we'll feel fulfilled. So first thing is that is actually really not true. If you can separate your identity from that, you can feel proud of that and also who you are. You can feel proud of yourself even when you don't achieve it and who you are, right? But I think that's really hard for most of us when we're chasing that level of success, those get intertwined. So the first thing is I would just tell them, yeah, that's an awesome dream. And that is really fun. And I have so much pride for what I've accomplished. And also I realized that there was a real trap in it. And so just be careful about that. The second thing I would say is that understand, as you said, the cost of it. Like when we celebrate that, that's really cool. But what you don't see behind the scenes is every missed vacation, every missed school dance, every early morning, every tear that was cried at the pain and the loss and the disappointment and the doubts of who you are and is this worth it? Like all of that goes into that. That's a part of it. Those are the sacrifices that come along with it. And those aren't inherently bad, but they need to be recognized. Like, do you want to actually go down that path? And I think for my parents, they didn't know. I had no dreams of going Olympics. It was just sort of like I hopped on that train, left the station, and was just going, right? So they didn't know that all that was going to come with that. But I think had we had hindsight and known, maybe some things would have been done a little differently. At least we would have gone in with eyes open. So that's the second thing I would say is just understand that to the extent that you can. And then third thing I would say about success is I think especially in youth sports, it's really easy to get caught up in the medals and the records and the state championships and the scholarships and like none of that is bad. I would love my boys to get scholarships, right? Like college is expensive, cool. But what we have to understand is that also if you don't want to get on that path, that's okay too. But whichever path you want to go on, let's try to be a little intentional about it. Like, let's try to step back and say, hey, what does success mean for us as a family unit? What does it mean for us individually? What does it mean for our kids? And if we can define that and ideally have it linked to something that's within our control rather than something just external like a medal or record or a championship, if we can define success as something that's within our control, then we build kids who feel a little bit more confident because they've got some control over where they're pursuing. We've got family units who are working together towards a shared vision rather than just sort of hopping into this sport culture that's like so busy and so results oriented sometimes that it kind of captures us. And then it also allows us to be driven by shared values. And by the end of the day, like what I've learned about success is really, and this sounds so cliche, and you've heard this, everyone says it, but it's like sport really should help build who you are, not just what you achieve. And so if we can define success early on by genuinely who do we want to become at the end of this journey, then we can kind of reverse engineer to help encourage and, put bumpers around keeping our kids and ourselves for that matter in alignment with that.